15-year-old Max has no friends and feels especially lonely on Halloween. While walking through her small town, she encounters a strange man in a creepy mask and a bright orange costume. He wants to show her a card trick, but Max, who loves magic tricks herself, figures it out, thereby landing herself in a situation with no way out. The thing is, the stranger is a messenger of the devil himself, who must sacrifice 4 souls every Halloween, and now his success depends on Max. Without her, he won't succeed. The phenomenal success of the horror franchise Terrifier, which over 10 years made an impressive journey from amateur short films to a blockbuster threequel that grossed $90 million, set an example for many independent filmmakers working in the genre. Furthermore, the development of online streaming gave them plenty of room to maneuver. Now, to recoup a modest budget, there's no need to break into a full theatrical release. It's enough to sell your project to a couple of platforms. This is the path taken by Colin Krawchuk and Michael Sheffield, the creators of the Jester short film trilogy, which received a feature-length version in 2023. Krawchuk and Sheffield came up with a memorable character, a mime in a mask and a bright costume. He would stop passersby and show them magic tricks that, unfortunately, always ended badly. And although he was inferior to art, the main villain of Terrifier in every way, in many situations, being second best is nothing to be ashamed of. The first full-length The Jester film succeeded due to an unexpected metaphorical layer. Krawchuk and Sheffield centered the plot not on the titular character, but on the relationship between 2 sisters who had to rebuild it by uniting against a powerful evil. The film was uneven, but it had enough interesting ideas and finds to at least be memorable. However, this result apparently didn't satisfy Krawchuk and Sheffield themselves, because in The Jester 2, they decisively abandoned any allegory and returned to a straightforward slasher where everything is on the surface. For the first time in the character's history, he was given a backstory, and the rules of his existence were spelled out. Yes, his powers are still limitless. With a snap of his fingers, he can do anything to his victim. But in The Jester 2, he finds himself in a situation where that's not enough. He needs to make an accomplice out of a 15-year-old magician, who, understandably, has no desire to kill people. In the hands of more experienced directors attentive to dramaturgy, this idea could have been a $1 million success. But Krawchuk and Sheffield couldn't figure out how to fan the spark into a flame. The entire film is essentially a series of disjointed scenes where the Jester, alone or with Max in tow, sends random victims to the afterlife in the most bizarre ways. Connoisseurs of the franchise will notice that one of the killings exactly repeats the very first short film. But even this doesn't seem to be part of any conscious concept. If the first Jester played on the metaphor of loss, the second one relies on circus farce where the show replaced any deeper meaning. As a result, you're sometimes impressed by an interesting find, and sometimes frustrated by how many opportunities to make their film deeper, smarter, and more powerful Krawchuk and Sheffield miss. That said, The Jester 2 still deserves a cautious recommendation, especially if you liked the first film and generally have nothing against dumb but skillfully shot slashers. At the very least, in the sequel, the creators splurged on better makeup and cast the charming Kaitlyn Trentham as Max, whose performance makes you genuinely care about her character. It's not enough to say for sure that the Jester franchise is developing in the right direction, or developing at all, but the film provides an hour and a half of undemanding entertainment. It's like a card trick. You know how it will end, but why not?